Hi, my name's Ed. I like to make the tools that I use for my Luthier hobby, so I wanted to show you how I made a saw for cutting fret slots in a fretboard. First, let's take a look at the saw. It's a flush cut saw that I like, and a piece of plywood. Mine was just a scrap of underlayment from a flooring project about 7 millimeters thick. Standard hardware parts, nothing special. Here's a shot of the miter box that I designed to use with the saw. I'll show you more about this later. So here are the parts I used. Start with a saw that you like and has the right kerf thickness, a couple of screws and wing nuts, piece of scrap plywood is about all you need. It's important that you get a saw that has the right kerf thickness. You see this saw says 0.024 inches, but it turns out when I measured it was closer to 0.021. The fret wire that I use is listed as 0.023, so I think I'm in pretty good shape with this saw. Start by drilling some holes in your saw. It should be in the middle dimension from the saw teeth to the back of the saw blade, and about an inch or an inch and a half from each end of the saw blade. And of course the diameter of the hole should be the same diameter as the screws you're going to use to hold the guide on. After you drill the holes, line up the saw teeth with the edge of the wooden guide and draw a pencil mark where the holes line up with the board. I used a 30-degree triangle to draw a line through the center of each of the holes. This will allow adjustment of the stop up and down. Decide how deep you want the fret saw to cut, and make a mark on the 30-degree line where the hole in the saw lines up when you've got the teeth set that far below the bottom of the guide. Drill some holes in the lower and upper extent of the travel of the guide block on the saw, and drill some extra holes to take out the material in between. I used a round file and a chisel to clean up the holes for the travel of the screws. So here's another couple shots of the finished saw with the guide block attached. To use the saw, set the guide block to cut just a little bit deeper than the depth of the tangs on your fret wire. I leave my fretboards square, and I use this miter box that I developed. I score the fretboard with a knife at the appropriate places with a scale that I have. As you can see, there's a couple of guide blocks that the right side of the saw rests against, and I cut a curve through the long rails using the fret saw that I constructed. The stop on the saw controls the depth of the cut when it reaches the rails, and the blade side of the saw rests against the guide blocks on the miter box. So I hope you enjoyed watching the video. This was a fun project to build, and I've already used it to build a fretboard for a mandolin that I'm constructing. It seemed to work fine. So why don't you try to build one too? Good luck.